So we're just a few days away from the end of May 2021. That means that we're almost halfway through this year, yo. Can you believe how fast this year has gone, man? This is crazy. And because we're almost at the end of the month, time for a Q&A where I answer your questions, this time from the members only section, which I've been doing it for the past few months anyway, from the members only section. If you want to become a member, hit the join button down below and watch the video that tells you what the perks are for being a member. And this is going to be for tier 2 and up, one question per person. And we have some pretty good questions here. I skimmed them. I usually don't, but I did skim them. And I am looking forward to answering them. So here we go. Dispo says, would you rather have 10 Senzu beans or summon Shenron? 2 wishes. I would rather summon the dragon. Senzu beans, what good is having 10 Senzu beans if I can just summon for like immortality, or if I can summon for 100 Senzu beans or 1,000,000? So, I mean, that's obvious. What would I wish for? For complete ownership and control of the Dragon Ball franchise for the rest of my life. That's what I would. And then you'd see some good shit coming out. Rithwick says, do you think they will show Frieza get a power-up and actually fight in this arc? Or will they simply show him in a few panels simply observing everything that was going on during this arc? I think they're going to show him observing everything first, but I do think he's going to actually fight. But as far as him getting an actual power-up, I can't say that for certain he will. But even if he does, based on the way that Granola performed in the previous chapter, and the way that Goku has been getting stronger in Vegeta, I don't think Frieza's anywhere close to being on their level. You know what I mean? So, he might get a power-up, but even if he does, unless it's something brand new, I don't see him being able to compete with those guys. I just don't. Royal Kaiju Blader says, with the introduction of Super Saiyan forms adding to the speed and agility of Migate no Gokui. No, you got it backwards, bro. Watch the video I did. It's Migate no Gokui that adds to the speed of the Super Saiyan forms, not the other way around. But I know what you meant. Do you think we'll see something similar with Vegeta? Well, Vegeta's in Ultra Instinct, so probably not. However, if you mean, do you think that Vegeta will somehow incorporate Hakai techniques into his Super Saiyan forms? I don't see what the purpose is, because the Hakai is a destruction technique. It's meant to destroy or to impart damage onto somebody. So, unlike, UI, which is a combat technique, one that's used both offensively and defensively, it's different. You know what I mean? It's a very different property. So, I don't know if that's what you mean, but I think that's what you mean. As far as will Vegeta get UI someday, the more Dragon Ball Super goes on in the manga, the least likely I think he'll get it. But part of me thinks at some point he probably will. I think he should way later on, not anytime soon. Chimera Yuri says, do you think there will ever be a special where they look back at the original Dragon Ball and maybe fill in gaps of info about what characters like Vegeta were doing? Heck, even seeing Mercenary Tao getting turned into a cyborg I find interesting. I would love to see that, even though it would only be like a 5-minute clip. I guess they could stretch it out into being a whole special. And Vegeta's childhood being a special would be pretty cool. I think that'd be like the Bardock special, except about Vegeta. And I would like to see it. As a Dragon Ball fan, I want to see all this stuff, right? As far as will they ever do it, I think, like I said with the previous question, the more that Super is on, like whether it be the anime, the manga, or the movies, the least likely. I feel like anything with Vegeta's childhood will be covered in flashbacks more than him getting his own special. Even though if they did give him his own special, it would be great and it would get a lot of viewership, if you ask me, especially internationally. So I think they should do it, but I don't know if they ever will do it. 3 o'clock says, I was wondering, will DB explore more things that are similar to the fruit of the movie The Tree of Godly Might? It doesn't have to be fruit. It could be any item. To me, I would like it if Granola would have received his power that way instead of the Dragon Ball. Just my thoughts. I would love it if Dragon Ball had more MacGuffins, like more like sacred objects besides just Dragon Balls. You know what I mean? Like artifacts. The Tree of Godly Might from Dragon Ball Z Movie 3, Shinseiju. I love that concept. Did a whole video on it years ago. And I would love to see more stuff like that. Like, I feel like they're always going after like the Dragon Balls. Meanwhile, like in other forms of fiction, like Marvel, DC, you've got the anti-life equation, the Infinity Stones. You've got these like, besides just Dragon Balls, obviously the wish granting orbs. You could have these like intergalactic, I guess you could say, these intergalactic space objects, these mystical, powerful objects that can do things besides just Dragon Balls, which is why I love classic Dragon Ball, because you had the Power Pole, the Nyoibo, which does have a legendary property, and then you had the Basho fan. You had a lot of different objects back then of power, you know, and I feel like that we don't see that anymore, and I wish that they would kind of think outside the box and do stuff like that. ZH says, do you think that Goku and Vegeta are going to beat Granola in this arc? In a fight, I think they will. As far as kill him, I don't think they're going to kill him, but I think they will defeat him in battle. Whether or not that's going to be the next chapter, I couldn't tell you, but next battle. Jobs248 says, no question, just wanted to say I love your videos. Always look forward to your new content. Keep up the awesome work. Thank you. That does mean a lot to me, significantly. John says, I always thought that, this is a long question, I always thought the Eternal Dragon couldn't grant wishes outside of their own power. Question here, did I miss something in the past few years that would allow a dragon, not being the Super Dragon, to grant Granola's wish of being the strongest in the universe? Just seems like that's a huge wish, which happened way too fast and way too easy. It also spits in the face of fans that watch characters grind since the 80s to present day to get where they are now in power. Well, yeah, I mean, I did a whole video on this a month ago, and I remember some people, I mean, most of y'all love that video. Some of y'all did not. They were saying that I was being too nitpicky and this, and I'm not. I'm not. The way that Granola got his power was literally the laziest writing in the history of this franchise, in my opinion. It really was. And that whole last chapter from February, even if the rest of the arc is amazing, even if the rest of the arc is better than chapter 72, and it's really, really good, they're not going to be able to erase how bad that chapter was. Now, again, one bad chapter will not ruin a whole arc for me, but I still don't like that. And to answer your question, you didn't miss anything. They have not explained how that dragon has that power. They haven't done that. And I don't know if they will, and I don't know if it even matters anymore. I don't even know if Toro remembers, or Toriyama. Oh, and don't forget to hit the like button also. Don't forget that. Sorry, I had to, my alarm for my oven went off, so I'm going to cut this down to back into one part again. So anyways, pick it up where we left off here. Hit the like button, by the way. Help spread the video out. Dragon Fist says, do you think that Granola has abilities similar to Aang from The Last Airbender? I've never seen The Last Airbender, so I couldn't tell you. But he goes on to say, because if so, he can control the rock and destroy by forcing the rock to expand outward and explode like in manga chapter 70. Well, yeah, entropy is what I called it. And, or actually Pride called it. And I might do a whole video on it. Entropy might not be the actual final name of the move, but it is a move. It is a name that I think fits for right now. Kara Black says, not sure if this will be covered in your Rose video for the transformation guide, but if Goku and Vegeta were to theoretically become a god of destruction, would their blue form change to Rose since it's the divine counterpart to blue? Great question, actually. I don't think so, but if it does, I wouldn't hate that. You know what I mean? Like, I would not be against that. I don't think so. Because blue is already divine. And Rose works because of the fact that, you know, Zamasu was this kind of unusual character, right? But if that's what happened, I mean, I always thought that if Vegeta becomes a god of destruction, or, you know, gets that power, and he were to transform, it would be more like a darker purple than a pink. You know what I mean? Like, more like how Beerus' skin is. But that could be wrong, because Beerus is only one of many gods of destruction that all look different. I wouldn't hate that though, but no, that's not covered in the Rose video. So, at all until it happens, I can't really say much about it. Didn't even think of it. Hunter says, even though as of right now, Goku cannot stack UI power on top of SSJ1 Blue, do you think that they will eventually go that route? I feel as though it may be a path DBZ or DBS will have to take eventually. I hope not, because the way they're doing it now makes more sense. Ultra Instinct is only a transformation if Goku uses the silver-haired form. That's it. That's the only time it actually works as a transformation. So, like, to me, like, I hope they don't do that, even though I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I hope that it just becomes a thing where Goku learns more and more about the properties of Ultra Instinct as he evolves as a trainer. But if they did that, it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. By the way, Victor at the bottom says, when are you playing Resident Evil 8? When I get a PS5, that's when. That's legit what I'm going to do. So Carlin Ray says, if you had the key control of somebody like Beerus, you'd get said powers too. Or the key control of Frieza, would it change how you do YouTube? Maybe you can do a live stream of blasting planets. I've never been asked that question before, and I love that question. That might be one of my favorite questions I've ever gotten on here, because it's so wacky. I would pick the key control of Beerus, because Beerus is way more advanced when it comes to key control than Frieza. Way deeper knowledge of martial arts, techniques, training under Whis, learning Hakai energy. Beerus as a fighter, let's forget the power for just a moment here. As a fighter, Beerus is, mentally, just so beyond Frieza. You know what I mean? Knowledge-wise, you know what I mean? Like combat-wise. As far as me doing a stream blasting planets, if I had those kind of powers, I probably wouldn't even be on YouTube, bro. I don't know what I would do, but I probably wouldn't be on YouTube. I'd probably be out blasting planets, but I'd also be worried that somebody else had those powers, in which case we're going to have like an invincible type situation where we're going to fight other meta-humans and it'd be a big battle. And then the whole world is screwed, you know what I mean? You might have bigger problems than watching YouTube videos if there's people out there with those kind of powers. Anyways, that is it. Thanks so much for everybody who sent their questions in, and I'm sure I'll do one next month. Have a great day. I'll talk to y'all soon, and big video coming this weekend. Subscribe if you're new. Talk to you then.